Critical Role's Seeker's Table may have just walked into a terrifying trap, D&D unveils a brutal new class, and the new Game of Thrones show divides the fans.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
Before we talk Critical Role's first Seeker's Table episode and new D&D releases, why not take a second to hit those like and subscribe buttons? It's fast and free, and in a world where 20% of YouTube is AI slop now, it really helps these videos push past it all. And then, let's dive into the news. D&D has still not revealed any of their first-party releases for 2026 yet, but they did reveal their third-party release schedule roadmap this week, and that includes official support for a new D&D class coming to D&D Beyond. The incredible Pugilist Class by Benjamin Huffman, made famous by Murph's character Maxwell Gotch on the Cloudward Ho season of Dimension 20.
Oh, me! I used my attack to grab the next dude and try to shove him in.
This class not only allows for a truly obscene number of unarmed attacks per round, but also some incredible durability, with multiple ways to resist stuns and gain temporary hit points, and even the ability to use your own con bonus instead of your dex bonus to determine your AC. It's an absolute juggernaut of a melee class that basically requires no equipment to unleash some truly devastating damage. One of their abilities literally lets them max out their damage on every dice they roll that turn, and we cannot wait to get official D&D Beyond support for the class when it finally arrives on the platform next month. That said, it also shows how badly D&D is crutching on third-party releases lately, as that is currently their entire 2026 release schedule, so hopefully we get official confirmation of that Dark Sun or Dragonlance campaign book from them soon. Critical Role kicked off their Seeker's Table arc last night, but once again the episode started with Hal, having a memory of meeting with his brother before Theosdi kicked off his final rebellion. And it's become more and more clear that Hal is more than just some uninvolved brother in that entire storyline, as Theosdi comes to not only inform Hal, who we still suspect is acting as some kind of spy master, but to seek some advice as well. But afterwards we finally shift over to the Seeker's Table, who have made their way into Riesengirdle, the city that is home to House Einfassen, and the location of that elusive missing resupply caravan that was headed to House Royce. When they got there, they not only uncovered more evidence of House Halavar's duplicitous nature as they caught sight of one of Tyranny's demon siblings, they also managed to use disguise self and some really incredible deception and persuasion rolls, mainly from Octus disguised as Lord Erlach, to get into House Einfassen, which also appears to have some kind of statue-powered demon alarm on the estate. But while the meeting ended with Lord Otto Einfassen offering sanctuary to Lady Aranessa and the Seekers, we have a terrible feeling they have just walked into a trap. The last person we saw dealing with statues was House Taconis, and the way that Lord Otto killed the handmaiden who went off and sent that carrier pigeon message right as she was beginning to explain herself is deeply suspicious, especially when you consider that Hal said one of his actresses had a sister that was a handmaiden in one of the Sundered houses. So could Otto have just killed Hal's mole after she left to send a message to the aviary to warn Hal about what was happening here in House Einfassen? Also, the way Lord Otto questioned Octus twice about Lord Erlach's sudden return from travels, and the idea that a simple level 1 spell could somehow trick the head of one of the most powerful houses in all of Ahriman, combined with the supposedly fastidious and efficient House Einfassen somehow not realizing the forgery on the so-called orders from House Royce that Sir Julian noticed with just a glance. It all feels very much like a trap is about to be sprung next episode, especially as the final scene we are given is Lady Ingrid Einfassen crying at her window. And while the Seekers may still escape, we are really starting to think this may be one of the final episodes we get with Lady Aranessa. Also, in my mind, Lord Otto is basically Reinhardt from Overwatch.
Die with glory.
And finally, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms has arrived over on HBO, and while the critics seem to be in love with the series, the fans themselves don't seem quite as thrilled, as there's nearly a 30-point gap between the series' critic score and popcorn score over on Rotten Tomatoes. Based on the Dunk and Egg novellas of George R.R. Martin, this is a much more grounded, low-stakes version of Westeros, centered around a tournament ground and devoid of massive dragons and huge clashing armies, but there is still a lot of drama and a ton of violence. However, it's also the first show to really just focus on two characters, instead of a wide variety of POV characters like Game of Thrones and House of Dragons have done. If it wasn't for the occasional Targaryen lord showing up and acting like a jackass at the tournament, you almost wouldn't know that this was set in Westeros at all. But we have to say that we really did enjoy both the chemistry between the two lead characters and the incredible action we've seen in the series so far. Maybe as the show leans more into the tournament and the intrigue behind the scenes of the event comes center stage, it will get more of those fans on board. But for now, you can check out the first episode over on HBO and find out if this new Game of Thrones series is your next fantasy binge. And that's all we have time for with this week's fantasy news. Let us know what your favorite story was down in the comments section, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.